Hello, this is my first video on Select One. Just to give everybody a concept of what I'm going to do, I'm just going to give these guys a review. This is my first time working for the company. I signed a lease contract with them for a 2017 Kenworth, and it's a T680. Never drove a KW before, so this is a new experience for me on that. Give you a little rundown. I was looking to do something, where I can make a little bit of money, possibly own a truck later. I look at leasing like a truck tool, not so much as ownership. Whenever you work on things, like if you were a mechanic or whatever, you'd have to go out and purchase things or rent things or whatever, and you would just use that product until it ran its course and then replace it or repair it. And that's kind of the way I look at leasing a truck. A lot of guys want to be a straight up owner operator. They want to take and go out here and own their own rig, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you're willing to take on the responsibilities and the headaches, to me, what I consider a headache of having to find your own loads, having to call brokers, sometimes for 8, 10, 12 hours solid on the phone, trying to find the load you're looking for, or something that pays decent. And that's a worst case scenario. Sometimes you might spend a day or two trying to get a hold of freight. You'll spend time, getting your insurance stuff together and dealing with the insurance paperwork, plates, taxes, you name it on the taxes, doing all that stuff, documenting everything, keeping up with all of your paperwork and stuff like that, having to chase your money down. If you can't get paid, per se, you make a deal with a broker and a broker welches, then you have to take and fight for that. I mean, I could go on and on and on about the bad things about being an owner-operator as an independent. Now, don't get me wrong, an independent makes a lot of money as far as that goes, more than a lease driver would, because a lease driver is leased onto a trucking company, and they're going to charge an X amount of percentage, for that service. In my case, it's 72% to me, and they get 28%. All right, what does that mean? So for every dollar that this truck earns or I earn, they will get 28 cents of that dollar. All right, that doesn't sound like a lot of money, but it really is in a way. So I'm going to play the devil's advocate and go against leasing on that aspect and say you do have to spend out money. All right, so you figure for easy math, let's say it was 70%. So if the load was $1 a mile, that means I only made 70 cents a mile. If the load is $2 a mile, well, we'd say 30 plus another 30, 60. So 60 cents minus $2 is $1.40 a mile. So I have to keep my rates really high in order for me to make some money. Because in general, the operating expenses for me so far, and I've been in 3 previous lease purchases, not with this company, but with another company, Frozen Foods Express. The only reason I have this hat and not a Select One hat is because I didn't have one. At any rate, so I completed some leases with them, and I learned a lot from that. But nonetheless, back to Select One. So whenever you do these leases, you got to pay out. You got to find really good paying freight, right? Or your dispatcher or your company you're leased onto, whether it be Select One or whoever. You really do need quality people that know what they're doing. You really do. The next thing to think about is if, some guys say, or some companies will say that you're leased on with us, therefore you're working for us, but not working for us. To me, it's kind of the opposite of that. I look at it as a perspective of, I'm paying you guys. Yes, you leased the truck, you gave me a loan. Legally, I'm obligated to do that, which means you decided to loan me the vehicle or sell me the vehicle or however you want to do that through one of your subsidiaries or umbrella corporations, if you will. So that has nothing to do with anything. That is a legal and binding contract in which I myself went out to a dealership and purchased a vehicle through you guys in a lease program that you offer. All right. And if you'll notice, most of your contracts never actually have the name of the company that you work for. You will not, you may, but I very seriously doubt you may find one that has the exact same name of the company that you're leased on with. So the next thing is if you do, great. If you don't, you're in my boat, which I've always been in, which is umbrella corporations, which means you go out, just like I said, and you're leasing a truck from a corporation or whatever. All right. So I've went out and done that in my eyes. Next, I'm putting it on with this particular company, hence select one. So in my mind, I'm looking for the things that I would out of an employee. So I don't look at them as an employer. I look at them as an employee, because I could take that same money that I'm spending toward them. You know, they're taking, like I said, 28%. I could take that 28% of my income, go out, you know, recruit employees, hire them, train them, have to supervise them, have to deal with everything, you know, that goes on in that aspect. All right. Then, you know, I'm incurring a lot more expenses doing that than I would if I was to just, say, buy it in bulk. And that's the way I'm kind of looking at lease programs through most of the companies is, you know, you're paid a base percentage or whatever, or by the mile. I really wouldn't go by the mile per se. And it's not always bad, but, you know, for me, percentage base is probably a lot better. Next thing, you know, you're spending that money, you know, that 28% goes toward this bulk purchase of employees. You're buying, you know, dispatchers, you're buying somebody to help you with your logs and manage it, make sure your company's run right. You're purchasing someone, you know, that's going to oversee dealing with the brokers, somebody who's going to worry about chasing down the money, somebody who's worrying about this and worrying about that. By the time you get through adding up all the positions that you pay for with that 28%, I'm sure it comes well over 28% if you're paying them correctly. So to me, I get like a discount off of it, and it saves me a lot of time and headache too, because I don't want to deal with these things. Now, don't get me wrong, there's some guys out there that would just love to dig in and do it all by themselves, but I'm not like that. I'd rather just get out here and enjoy myself and drive. I've been driving since 2001. Been in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think 5 lease purchase programs, or not programs, but lease purchases. And this one here makes my 6th one. And I hear a lot of owner operators bashing leases or leasing onto a company, and they're independents, and it works well for them, but it may not work well for everyone, or everyone may not want to, you know, deal with all that or have the patience for it. But nonetheless, you know, what I'm trying to do is cater more toward the guys that want to know about lease program and the pros and cons of it and things of that nature. So this is my first time again working for Select One, and I will be going through this off and on a regular basis, or try to, and just show you guys what it is, how it works, and things of that nature. And with that said, we'll catch back up with you on the next clip.